Ladies and gentlemen, thank you for joining us. Welcome to the first episode of the Star Trek Adventure stream, starring myself and two of my favorite people in the office.
Thanks.
You're welcome.
I feel special.
Don't be. I said it for the lols.
Please
introduce yourself, shall we?
Go on, you first.
Hi, I'm Virginia. I'm one of the assistant line managers here. I like Star Trek.
And
I am Sam, and I'm head of RPG development, which means I don't do any real work. I just get everyone else to do it instead.
so we'll be playing through Star Trek Adventures for the next 4 weeks. Hopefully it will be a fun, exciting adventure that we'll all love and no one will hate horribly. Before we start this whole up, I'm so nervous. Why am I so nervous? I'd like to once again say we're playing on the lovely, beautiful Geek and Sun table, which we love very much and we're very grateful to have. Look them up. They're amazing. All right. Shall we jump right into it?
Yeah, man, if you want to.
Okay, so space, the final frontier. These are the journeys of the USS Vermilion. Its starting 5-year mission to explore strange new worlds, to meet new and exciting civilizations, and to boldly go where no man or tribble has gone before. Insert screaming.
Nice. You didn't know we had to find exciting civilizations.
So if they're boring, we can just leave.
We can just,
can't just
mosey
leave.
on out of here. I'm going to get them in. Mosey on out of there.
So, the USS Vermilion is run by Captain Tyrrell, a fairly brash, bold man who believes in taking big steps and doing something exciting. So, when the idea to go check out the Badlands in the Alpha Quadrant came up, he jumped at the opportunity. Your ship, as we start up, is currently exploring the Badlands. It is a little bit wild, it's a little bit crazy, and communication with back to Starfleet is not as direct as you'd like, but you are definitely finding new and exciting ways to keep yourself busy. As long as you keep yourselves away from the Romulans that tend to go around, and a few Klingon ships that seem to be skirting around the borders, just keeping an eye on everything else, you're usually doing okay. Adventures have been fun and exciting. People have died, because they usually do in these kind of things. But there's nothing in here that has not stated that you've not made enough of an impact that even Kirk would have to raise his eyebrows.
Okay.
As we start up, the captain actually calls a few of his people into a meeting and he wants to discuss something that has been discovered by some of his scanners. And we cut to Tyrus Darrell. He's sitting inside his main ready room and he's looking at all of his crew. There are 4 other people in here with you. We'll come to them if they need to come up. But mostly I'll be addressing you two because you're the player characters and we're here. And he's like, alright, so we discovered a new planet somewhere within the Badlands. I'm not exactly sure where, not too far from here. They have a very strange energy reading that I would like to investigate. I think they may possibly even be close to getting warp technology, which I feel is just on the skating of the prime direction of us to go investigate them. However, I need a decent crew and people to come up. Who wants to lead this mission?
I can set a course immediately, Captain.
I think that sounds fantastic, setting the course. But I need to know what we're going to do when we get there. This is our first time encountering a civilization race that isn't already hit warp and ready to communicate. What are the ideals and the plans that you would use for something like that?
Well, it'll be good to establish how close to warp they are. It could be that they are already using warp technology and haven't ventured from their planet with it just as of yet. It could be that they're using technology that's warp equivalent, but we haven't seen yet, much like the Romulans use singularity engines.
I believe the Prime Directive establishes faster than light travel rather than warp or singularity itself.
And they definitely are probably very close to swing according to the readings that we have. According to the readings, anyway. I only trust as far as I can see it.
I would advise caution, however, Captain. The Prime Directive is very clear about that boundary.
Understandable. So, would you prefer we went down under a disguise, or would you prefer we went down as ourselves?
I would advise we would not go down at all.
Well, we're definitely going to go down. We cannot miss an opportunity to possibly be, just like the Vulcans were to us, the first ones to meet a civilization that reaches as good as we are. Especially within a land like this. Imagine a base within the Badlands of the Alpha Quadrant.
we would have to see what their technological advancement is like first. If they are indeed close to warp, then perhaps it would be appropriate. But if they're still many years away, it would not be the best time. We could influence their culture and their technology in ways that they otherwise wouldn't have access to, which would violate the Prime Directive.
All right then, I'll take your advice on board. We'll set us a course. Let's be there in about the next day.
I will try and find the best course I can get.
All right, so he leaves you to it. Sam, would you like to introduce your character?
Yeah, my Vulcan is called Soral. He is the helmsperson aboard the USS Vermilion, and I can only describe as a Vulcan space cowboy. So he's very logical about it, but he's all about going out to the final frontier and exploring new places and finding new civilizations and stuff. So this is like right up his street, but he is by the book.
Sounds pretty good to me. Yeah. And also?
I am playing Jana. She is a Cation, and she's the chief engineer of the USS Vermilion. She pretty much likes her technology, so this is pretty exciting for her. A species that might be coming to warp capable or using technology equivalent to that. She very much likes tinkering and playing around with things, so this is for her.
Sounds great. In which case, Sam, it's up to you to set us a nice, easy, straight course through the Badlands to get us...
Easy straight course.
Easy straight course to the Badlands. The Badlands, of course, being a turmoil of gravitational storms and plasma storms and gravitational disturbances. I always mix those two up. Look, some stuff is happening. Things are blowing up. It's hard to go through this place.
It's a beautiful cocktail of awful.
Wonderful.
Yeah.
It is a fairly difficult thing to plan through, but you have the time, effort, and the crew backing you up. So, please make a difficulty 3 check to get us through in the easiest way possible.
All right.
Do not forget that you have determination, and threats is still available. We start with 6.
We do. I've got warp navigation as a focus.
Mm-hmm.
We're going out warp,
Sounds to
presumably.
me. Yeah.
All right. So that will apply for my focus. So anything under a 4 is going to crit, which isn't too bad. So I get 2 successes for that. I'm annoyed because I have cautious con, which means if I spend momentum, I can re-roll a d20.
Well, you need momentum first.
Right, I need momentum first. So I'm going to have to give you some threat. So I'm going to give you 3 threat to roll 2 more dice.
Excellent. Do it.
So I'm looking
if you're watching, the threat will be noted down here.
I'm looking for 16s and 2 successes on 4s. That's a 20. That's good.
That's great. I think that's fantastic.
Start.
That's a good start.
I'll let you have that complication. I won't buy it off. And I got 1, 2...
Before you continue, explain buying off complications.
So, before it applies, I can say to you, like, do you want 2 threat? Like, I'll give you 2 threat instead. Like, I don't want it to happen now, but it might happen later on.
Okay.
But because we're in the Badlands and I'm a GM as well, like, I know you might have something, you might have an idea of what you want to like.
That sounds pretty good.
Just blow up the ship, like, first.
We're big fans.
First time in, right?
We spent forever building the ship. We're not going to blow it up in the first session.
Yeah, right. So, yeah, I'm going to let you, like, have that complication.
Oh.
That's a very bold, like, way of saying it, but, like, yeah, I'm not going to buy it off. And I got 3 successes.
Well, you got it. You got there.
So I'm good. It's tricky. Those gravitational eddies are not easy.
So, the USS Vermilion pops out of warp just enough of range so we can see the planets on what's called below you and
on the view screen.
The description is actually fairly easy. There is a giant sun that is floating right next to you, and the planet and the distance from the sun is not that far, not like Earth far, but far, maybe about Venus, between Venus and Earth far. But even from here, you can already see the incredible things that are different about it. Only one side, the one facing the sun, is clear, and you can see pretty much a blue sky, what looks like fairly red-looking planet, maybe some water, anything else just from viewing. The other side that doesn't face it, however, has these incredibly nasty-looking, dark, swirly clouds that push around the edge and completely cover it up.
The way that, like the day line, so that I can't remember what it's called. There's a fancy word for that, where the day side and the night side like meet, right? So is it that all these like scary clouds literally dissipate on that line? They just go away.
They just go away.
All right. Okay.
And you arrive there. Tyrell's simply like, right, turn on scanners. Everyone take a look. Would you like to operate the scanners for me?
I would. Let's see.
Could I assist?
Yes, you can.
I've got a focus in agroecology.
Ooh.
So it's how the ecology of a place affects the growing of stuff, I guess. So I just think it might apply. Plus, he's a Vulcan, so he went through the science track because Starfleet Academy is racist. Vulcan must go into sciences, of course, right? So, no, I rolled that randomly. Don't worry.
Yeah.
I would totally, I think, get up from the helm. Some red shirt would immediately sit down, like my place, right? So you're like, I guess you're scanning stuff. And I'm kind of like looking over your shoulder, like, oh yeah, there's the thing and the other thing.
Jana's up at the scanner and she's, pressing buttons and getting stuff up. And every time you go to press a button, occasionally the tail comes up. It's like, no, I'm just gonna moving stuff. She uses it like it's because I've got the prehensile tail talent, so it's as dexterous as her hands are. Sure. So it's flips around and presses buttons and going. What do you make of that? Because she can operate the scanner. She doesn't always know what she's looking at. She can make the thing appear though. Yeah. Lloyd, I'm going to give you a point of threat though, because I want to try and generate us some momentum.
Please.
I think that's a really good idea.
So I can roll 3 dice.
Difficulty's only 2 for a general outside scanner. Cool. However, complications happen in a 19 to 20.
Okay.
Did you apply that complication from earlier?
No, I've not applied it yet.
Oh. Because you could take 2.
Oh,
okay. He's not telling us the complication.
Don't worry about it.
That's cool.
Can I argue to use engineering for this? Since I'm just getting it up, I'm trying to get the best picture possible, whereas it's Sam who's actually kind of feeding to me what the actual picture means.
So I'm analysing it.
Yeah.
Okay, I'll give it to you.
Cool. So this is control?
Mm-hmm.
Control and engineering. So we're looking for 15.
Oh god, which dice was that you just rolled?
It was...
And Sam, you're assisting, so you roll 1 dice.
So that's 2.
I'm going to use... This is reason.
Yep.
And can I argue science?
Okay.
14, man. Maybe they want to erase a science.
Natural 20, come on, boy.
11. That's a success as well.
So that's 3 successes.
Okay.
So some difficulty 2, right?
Difficulty 2. So
you get some momentum.
You can use the momentum when you gain it to ask me a question about the planet.
Yeah.
Or you can save it for later.
Obtain information.
I mean, what do we find out from succeeding on the test first, and then decide?
From what you can tell, it looks like the planet itself, just from seeing, looks like it's... Is the phrase tide-locked?
Yes, tidally locked to the star.
Tidally locked to the star, which means that one side always faces the star, whilst the other one doesn't. Mm-hmm. From what you can tell from your general scans, there seems to be life coming from the very part of the planet that has faced the light. There is life signs coming. There's life signs, energy readings, all of that, and you're picking up all the stuff that they picked up before, like technology that would be around the area of pre-warp, faster than light travel. All of that is being read on that side. Would you like to ask me any other questions before something bad happens?
I want to know about what's on the dark side. Like, is there no readings, or are they? Yeah. If I spend that, the dark side, do we get anything?
You get absolutely nothing. The cloud that is over it seems to be some kind of iron-charged base, but not iron-charged that you would understand. It's more, there's a strange build-up of energy readings that you're getting from it, but it completely screws any kind of senses you have. Yeah. If you want to figure out what this is, you'd have to go onto the planet and get to that side.
So it's like heavy elements and stuff that's just not letting us. If there wasn't anything there, it wouldn't be coming through.
Not at all. Absolutely nothing.
Well,
it is difficult to know whether there would be any life signs on that side of the planet.
Life does develop in strange places, however.
True, I'm not suggesting that there wouldn't be any life. What I am suggesting is that I would again advise caution on taking a shuttle or a team down there, only because we would not want to, as you rightly said, upset the
natural development
of the
There's a bleep, an energy spike for a second on your readings. Just for a second.
Can I
want to go to the helm and I want to check if we've been scanned.
You pop on the helm and you simply go to check and nope, doesn't look like it.
Can I tell from having a look at the energy spike? I don't know if I've got a focus in quantum mechanics. I don't know if anything there helps in terms of trying to figure out what the source of energy was, in terms of what type of energy is it.
It looks like something seemed to have spiked up your energy readings while you were turned on the sensors for a second, like you had read something.
Readings.
No, something. The energy readings that were on there
Right.
that you were looking at, something spiked them for a second when you were trying to scan the planet. But it was only for a second, nothing else.
Are we able to do any other analysis? Like, basically, are we able to do another task to try and
we have
analyze it?
We have labs.
We do. So modular laboratories means that we have like large, empty, multi-purpose spaces.
Sounds
for
good.
Laboratories.
Most likely, your best bet on that one would be to spend some time to look at it, but that's time that you'd have to spend to do. So it's up to you to decide whether you want to do it yourself or to leave it to a supporting character to do it for you.
Yeah, we could do that.
Yeah.
So at the start of an adventure, we need to decide how they're configured. So what they're set up to do, basically. And it counts as an advantage for the ship.
And I don't see why you can't set up right now. So give me a name of whoever it is that will do this for you, and then we'll have an NPC turn up.
I imagine that might be, for this anyway, because I have my experimental device. I think Jana probably has an area set up that she tinkers in, that she pretends is multi-purpose use, but mostly it's just for her.
Sure.
So it would probably be one of her, one of the engineers below her.
All right.
And let's call them Attica.
Attica?
Attica, yeah.
All right. Attica will investigate the spike in electronic reading. Attica, of course, I'm assuming. Well, let's beep. Beep me. Call me up.
I flip up the communicator. This is TOS.
Oh, yeah, I forgot
Nobody
about that.
knows. It's next door.
It's next door, sorry.
I'll bring it next week.
Okay.
I flip it up. Lieutenant Commander Attica.
Speaking.
This is Jana.
Hey, Jana.
I need you to investigate the energy spike reading that we had. It was only a brief blip, but I want to know where it's come from and what caused the spike.
You sure it's nothing? You sure it's serious? How urgent do you want it?
As soon as you can analyse it.
All right, I'll take a look. I'll let you know. Jana out.
Flip it back down.
Sorry,
With little bleeping
Attica
sound.
out. There you go. All right, she'll be investigating that. What's called? Tyrell steps up and goes, all right, the planet's there. It's in front of us. What do we have?
We have a tidally-locked planet, Captain, that has life on the light side and strange, undecipherable readings on the dark side. Other than that, we don't really have any more information. The technology is as you described. It's just pre-warp, according to many different case studies of such civilizations. And so, really, we would need to know how to proceed from here.
That sounds pretty good. Well, one of the red shirts that's sitting in your space currently goes, sir? He's like, excuse me? We're being hailed.
And I want to go sit down on my thing.
Cool. And he takes his own seat and stretches backwards and he's like, on screen.
Yeah, he does.
Because why would you not? The screen pops up and you see standing there is this, for all intents and purposes, we'll go for male.
Okay.
Because races and all that stuff would be weird. And it's with some huge on tall human, fairly large, mostly bare at the top, but they're wearing what looks like a bodysuit running down all the way down to the bottom, and all of this got like intricate designs knitted out all the way through it. Quite muscular, if muscular matters in an alien race in the scale, the way the body forms. Head, of course, turned up like so. Incredibly tan skin. Dark, what's called fiery red eyes, just like sitting out there, right on there. And he looks up and he sort of goes up and goes, greetings. I hope I can get through to you. Is anyone there? Tyrell sort of looks over at the rest of you and he's like, please speak. And he goes, I am Thaddeus of the Armat people. Welcome to planet Benno. It is a pleasure to once again have visitors come to our planet, and you have come at a very interesting time. Do you wish once again to acquire our knowledge and our energy as you did before, in exchange for our help, in exchange for your help?
While he's talking, can I have a look through our Starfleet databases and see if we have record of him, the name of this planet, or these people?
Yes.
Presumably they seem to recognize us. So
Keep going. Oh, you keep searching through. Tyrell, of course, starts communicating with him, and he starts talking about, well, we would love to, but we're not quite sure what you mean. And he's like, well, it's all perfectly fine. Please send some delegates once again to our planet, and we can kind of discuss and negotiate what we need further. Tyrell goes, certainly, I will do so immediately. Speak to you later, Tellius. And he Tellius sort of bows his head gently, and then the screen goes off, and he turns towards you two.
Captain, I'm trying to get up any information that we might already have if we've made contact with this planet. Perhaps it was under a different name. I've run all 3 terms that he mentioned. His name, the people. Nothing. Wow. Are there records of ships investigating the Badlands before us?
No. You are one of the very first ships ever to go into the Badlands. This shouldn't be happening. You should never have met these people at all. You should not even know who the hell the Almighty people are. You've never been on this planet, and no one's recorded it.
We cannot discount the influence of the Romulans or Klingon empires.
Perhaps. However, the captain is human and definitely not Romulan looking in nature, so I would figure that if they'd had contact with such species, they would recognize them. Would my knowledge of quantum mechanics make me aware of any of the weird kind of time warpy stuff, like the slingshot effect? Because presumably Kirk's 5-year mission
You are aware of every slingshot effect in the world, and you fully know that there is no way you're going to figure that out by just sitting here and
No, but it's timey-wimey stuff is reasonable. It's
100%. I mean, that's a perfectly legit reason why things would happen.
Wow.
But isn't it a little too early to make an assumption until you can get some evidence?
I think he wants us to go down the planet.
You don't have to. We can always sit up here, and then I just end the game and go home and get some food. I'll see you later. Yeah.
On the USS Enterprise's many missions and exploratory outgoings, strange things were encountered with time, Arconian gateways, slingshot effects. It's presumably possible that somebody has, in fact, been here, just not yet. Not yet for us, anyway.
Might I remind you, Commander, that time travel is not a reality.
Look, I don't need someone to remind me about time travel being reality or not. I need some answers, and I want to know how to get them. How do I get those answers?
Well, we have made contact, and seemingly, according to them, have made contact before. I don't believe that would violate the Prime Directive if we were to go down and investigate the planet.
I would agree, Commander.
I would, however, recommend that we do proceed with caution. We don't know if we have had interactions with them in the past or future, or at any point. We don't know whether or not they were friendly, or what their interactions have been like with any of the other factions within the Badlands.
Understandable. Caution will be taken. I'll personally lead this mission. Strap up and suit up. We're going in a minute. As he says, get ready for you to get ready to go onto the planet. Would you like to bring any supporting cast with you?
Yes.
A good few red shirts.
Yeah.
A series of red shirts.
Yes. Well, you only have a certain limited amount of supporting characters.
Yeah, so we've got Crew Sports 4, so we can bring 4 down. You've already used one with your science dudettes, so we can have 3. Let's take 2 down.
2 security officers.
Well, we could take hang on, so the captain's doing the first contacty stuff.
Yeah, he's like, I'm going to go there and speak to them, 100%.
Yeah. I'm there because I can fly a thing. Unless we're beaming down.
I think you should be down.
Yeah, okay.
Oh, actually, no. Why don't you fly down? Seems so sensible to me.
That's kind of a Star Trek Adventures trope that there's always an excuse to fly down. Because there's no budget.
There's no budget, so yeah, we'll fly down. It's way easier.
I literally don't mind.
No, let's fly down. Fuck it.
Okay.
I mean, screw it.
We could find out which would be safer, whether the atmospheric conditions would favour transporter or...
You definitely know that if you don't go into the iron section, you should fly down this easily. It's like going through atmosphere and you're there.
I would like to get some closer readings, however.
So
Alright.
what supporting crew are we bringing down?
I'd say like a security officer, and probably like a science officer who's got some experience with,
Anthropology.
anthropology and stuff. Yeah.
Well, Would you like to bring Damien Stash in? His speciality is xenoanthropology.
That guy.
All right, Damien Strachan will come down with you, and his specialty is that word that I can't spell. It's really big. I don't know what I'm doing. And you've got 1 security officer, 1 science officer. Is that all you need?
Yeah. I mean, it's all we can take.
I want to save a crucible in case we need it.
That's probably a good idea. I'll give you that. You also have like the other heads, whom I haven't mentioned, but they do their own thing and knock themselves out. So you've got like an actual head, what's called security officer as well, who is like directly beneath the other one. You've got a doctor, you've got a comms person. So if you need to, you can always refer to those if you want. All right, so everyone gets together and meets outside by the shuttle, and you head inside. Damien is walking up, and he's got this like this tricorder with him that he's like personally like tweaked with, so he can take samples and measure them and make it difficult. And he's like slung it over his shoulder, and he takes a bit of space in the shuttle, and everyone sits down. And the captain comes along as well. He sits next to you all, and he, as always, tells you to take the lead. No need to roll though, because I think you just get there.
All right.
You leave the safety of the Vermilion and you fly down towards Planet Benno. And as you arrive at Planet Benno, you cut through its atmosphere shield, or whatever it's going to be. And you come down to what looks like a warm red planet. You can see that the whole place is like lit, like incredibly lit, with the sun just basing down on it. But you can also see like plants and trees of things that have somehow survived and gone through. All of them are like darkened and hardened and fresh and everything else, and they're spreading on the area. And as you're flying over, you can see some places being cultivated to grow some of these that have their own little fruits that come down from beneath it. You can see more people, same dark tan skin, same fiery red eyes, same weird dressing where it's like half of it up here and then the weird net style running all the way down. Mostly fairly muscular, fairly big, strong people, sort of moving about on the flight all the way down. As you come further and further down towards where the signal is, you see what looks like almost like a landing bay. But of course, it's all 70s-tastic because it's the 70s, because that's how it is. So it's like a full-on, like, the budget doesn't show this part.
Big blocky shapes.
But big blocky shapes are there. The camera just punts, you just landing, and you just being there, because I can't afford it.
Is the rest of this planet that one location in TOS that's deserty?
Yes! That's the one with the weird red background.
With the rock.
With the rock. Yes, that's literally where we are.
In the Californian desert.
Okay, I am true to form. We're not messing this up. As you come down and you land upon the planet, and you basically come in and see it all, you can see what's called outside the shuttle, stepping in front of it. Basically, is the man you saw before, Terias, and he's standing in front, and he's got maybe like 5 or 6 people behind him. They all have these big staffs with like these like weird bubbles at the top of it, and they all step forward, and as you open the doors, they give you a short bow. And they go, "Dear Mart people, welcome the people from the sky. Please come with us. Come in, break bread, feast, be merry, so we may discuss our negotiation, our plans together better." And of course, Tyrell is not really one person to sit back and not get some good ass meal. So he's like, "Whoa, let's go!" And he takes you all along, and you're given a nice little tour of the area. And as you do, you can see more of these people going about their way. They seem fairly happy, fairly jovial, fairly excited. Would anyone like to make me a roll to see things outside of what's around? If you're keeping an eye out, anything specific you're watching out for? Or would you like me just to keep going with what the description I've got?
Jana would be looking at their technology. What is their, because as we're walking through, what appears to be their norm in comparison to us? Is everything quite high-tech, or is it quite low-tech? Does she recognize any technology as not being, like Romulan technology or Klingon technology that we would know of? Because they called us the people from the sky, which probably means they just refer to anybody who's not from here.
That's moving from the sky. How about you? Anything you're looking specific for? Before I decide on what role you're going for, because it might be a role that you can work together with to make life easier.
I don't think so, particularly. His interest would be like some of the agriculture. Probably just looking at a glance over towards the horizon to try and figure out kind of. We saw farms and stuff, right? So like, look at the cows.
Look at the cows.
Look at the cows.
I was waiting for the cows. Right. So in that case, make me a roll. You'll get. There's a base knowledge stuff that you're going to get. The roll will tell you a little bit more, and after you might ask me some extra questions you might want. So go for it. Difficulty will be 2.
2. Can I go for reason engineering?
Sounds fantastic.
Her knowledge to figure out.
Do it.
What's going on? I'm gonna give you a point of threat, Lloyd, because I have bold engineering, which means I get to re-roll a d20.
Yeah, there you go.
We're all GMs of Star Trek here. Threat is like, have it. Let's see what happens.
Mm-hmm.
That will be, so I'm looking for a 15, so that is 3 successes.
Excellent. All right, so looking at the technology they have, a lot of it seems to be mostly homegrown. There's nothing in there that looks like it's special or different or taken in some kind of odd and new interesting way or anything like that. However, as you're staring through the technologies, a few little intricate parts sort of pick up at you, like small little parts that you kind of you'll go, oh, that's kind of odd. That's a weird way of using that energy pulse or anything like that. And the first one that gets you is that you can see remnants of Klingon style like energy signatures sent through, pushed through each other, sort of working their way up, building is true. And of course, naturally you're like, yep, sign it off. It's all good. And you turn to look away, and then you see a light bulb not that far off, looking down, and the design and the shape looks kind of familiar. And you pick up a tiny bit of Romulan style design from the energy that seems to be coming from it. So that makes you pause for a second. And then you look over to the other part, and you are pretty freaking certain that is a Vulcan stick that guy is holding over there. Something very small from different civilizations seems to be showing amongst these people.
Like a little patchwork.
Like little patchworks.
You got another question? Have we got any Starfleet stuff here? I'll pay momentum. Is there anything here that I would recognize as Starfleet technology or Federation technology?
You do not recognize anything on here so far as Federation technology. However, you do definitely recognize some things, like the way the glass is kept for making incredibly strong, stable glass that can be kept through things, as human technology.
Right. Okay. Pre-Federation human.
Pre-Federation human technology.
I will quietly share this with, I can't remember your character's name, I'm so sorry.
Soral.
And just say...
Not only that, something else also picks up your interest. There are lights everywhere. And I mean everywhere. Every single corner of every single room is lit. They are lit in such a great way that you actually don't have shadows, and your shadows are tiny and hidden apart. Every single part of where you walk is lit.
I'm sure there's a Doctor Who episode where this...
Shadows are bad. Shadows are bad.
I don't know what you're talking about. It's all good. This is original. Shut up. Yeah, there are lights everywhere. Every single part of this entire place is lit.
So I turn to you and say, under my breath quietly, because I imagine we're kind of further towards the back of our little group. There is technology here that is Klingon in origin, Romulan in origin, and pre-Federation Earth in origin. Nothing overt, just little bits and pieces, and she'll point them out to you as we walk along and say, that over there, that's Vulcan.
Intriguing.
Have you also noticed there is an incredible amount of lights for a planet that is tide-locked facing the sun? I wonder if perhaps they have an ongoing problem here and they're inviting us here as perhaps...
You almost trip over a Ferengi-like doorstop when you way across.
Ferengi doorstop.
Jana curses the Ferengi in her native language.
Gold Latinum doorstop.
Yeah, just in incation curses and continues on. Just as
You know that translates, right? So everyone gets that. Universal translators.
She forgets because I imagine that in the Vermilion's engineering section, she's turned that feature off. So
Turn
that
the swears off.
She can do this and no one else can understand her,
Yeah.
but forgets that doesn't work everywhere. I think that we should be cautious if they have been trading with, especially the Romulans and the Klingons. There's also the possibility they have traded weaponry.
Theus is walking along.
I'm going to straight up ask.
Okay.
Theus?
Yeah, Theus.
Theus, our head dude.
Mm-hmm. Are you not going to tell the captain first? Yeah, fuck it. It's pretty easy. No, screw the captain.
I'm just going to straight up, original series style, just ask the guy, you seem to have a lot of recognisable technology here. Where did you acquire it?
He's like,
I'm very interested in the development of your people. And
I think that's a great way to phrase it. Because our technology, of course, comes from us. We have many years of discovering and coming up with new, intricate, amazing styles of technology and power and way to better our planet Benno, which we love so much and put so much effort in, he says.
All right.
I mean, do you want to push a bit further or do you want to leave it at that?
I mean, Gianna will a little bit, because...
Just want to mind the guy now. I've got no...
Come here! Tell her what you know!
Gianna
We're a terrorist!
Watches him say this, and with slightly narrowed eyes says, "No, I do believe that much of this technology appears to have originated off-world. You welcomed us as the Sky People. You say that we have been here before. Is it possible that perhaps we are not necessarily the same species of people that you have met before? For example, perhaps you have met previously with people that look like my fellow officer here. Perhaps myself." As she kind of gestures to the tail.
That sounds interesting. I think that requires a social roll to see
Oh.
how far you can go with that. Because now you're into the, I just gave you my story, mate. What's wrong with you? Territory. What would you say you're trying to go for in this case?
She's trying to make a little bit the point that she understands some of the tech that's here. Not necessarily why it's here, but that she does recognize it.
Okay.
And also pushing the, almost like the, perhaps you just misspoken, like giving that chance to correct himself.
I think that sounds fair. See, that sounds to me like daring and con.
Sure.
Make the roll.
That's 13.
Can I have assisted her based on the
I'll give you an
fact
assist.
that I've
That's fine.
started up a little combo?
Have a point of threat, Lloyd.
Oh, that's a good idea.
What's the difficulty?
It's opposed.
Oh, it's opposed. Oh.
That's 20 then.
How
What am I rolling?
would linguistics or focus in linguistics help?
I will
here?
not give you a focus on linguistics on this one. You are basically trying to get... linguistics would normally work, but in this case you're just going, oh, you've clearly misspoken, sir. Surely this is technology from other planets."
Improvisation?
No!
Alright, I'm about to blag insight and con,
Okay.
and I have a focus in negotiation.
I'll give you that. I think that's fair for your assist.
So we've got 2 successes and a complication.
Mm-hmm.
I'm looking for a 12 crits and a 4.
Mm-hmm.
8. That's another success.
Excellent. So how many did you get?
3 total and a complication.
He's on 5. What? I spent great.
Oh, okay.
I wasn't messing about with this one.
No.
And a complication. So he sort of listens to you say, and he's like, "Are you saying our technology is not of our own? That it comes from the Sky People? We have met people like you before. It is something that we expect at these points. They come and go quite often. But our technology is our own and our knowledge is ours. We are happy to share information with you and do so, but to insinuate that we are not able to stay with ourselves and keep ourselves going, that we need people like you to come forward, is an insult I cannot take lightly. I will have you apologize."
I meant no offense.
Offense taken.
She tries to put on a very pleasant look as she,
Go over
pulls,
here.
she tries to put on a very pleasant face as she apologizes. I meant no offense. It's just this technology is very familiar where we are from. These are commonplace things that we have seen often and have developed seemingly then side by side along with your own civilizations. But I get the feeling the tail probably gives away that cat
all right.
swishing tail.
Please, sir. We are explorers. We have been to many places, many planets like your own, and we sometimes see many pieces of technology, pieces of architecture, and such, and furniture that looks very familiar. Evolutionary steps tend to take on, and it kind of elaborates on like evolutionary like doodads and this, that, and the other, and just finishes with
Some stuff.
And my species is Vulcan, sir, and Vulcans cannot lie. So like, I'm just like straight up bull. This is bull. But he's like, no, I'm really sorry. Maybe we're mistaken.
Your statements are taken, however, I cannot simply abide by them to be so. Captain, and goes to Kara's like, yes. I will ask that we consider negotiations without these people in our presence. I will not continue with them. And Thomas looks around and goes, they're welcome to explore the one and go where they wish and see what they want. We have some fantastic looking cows outside for them to go see. But as far as I'm concerned, my negotiation with these two is over. And Tyra looks over and goes, do you have anything you can do? Go scan some plants or some stuff. I don't know.
She taps her. She's carrying 2 tricorders, one regular one and one that looks a bit haywire, and kind of taps it.
Excellent. Teles goes Perrock, and then one the ones come up. It's the same thing. They're wearing the like weird like thing with a pattern all the way through, but they have like a perfect 70s bop,
Nice.
ladies style like tip up, and there's like a mini skirt, like a hard mini skirt at the bottom. Go for that aesthetic. And you're like, Perlock is our head guard. Perlock, please take these people and show them wherever it is they wish to see.
We're about to get murdered.
And he's like, good day to you. And then they continue.
Alright,
She
cool.
just looks at you. I thought I was catty, but
I do not know what you're insinuating.
she just kind of sighs as she realised she tried to make a joke to a Vulcan.
So, Perlock.
Alright, I got it. Nice.
So, Perlock
just
steps.
Sam.
Well, no, like if you had that full weird cat mask on, like you were talking about earlier, then I'd get it. But, no, it's fine. Okay. Well, this is kind of good because I thought this was going to end in some kind of like proper original
combat?
series trial by combat, right? That's what I thought was going on. So,
There's 3 weeks yet, Sam. You're Vulcan.
All right.
That's fine.
So, Perrock steps forward, bob, skirt, buff. Takes it forward, it's like, I will accompany you wherever you wish to go. Would you like to see our lands, our cultivators, our people?
cows.
You wish to see our cows?
Your any bovine creatures?
Well, we do have the Bono bovine, one of the most precious things to us. With them, we bring life and water to our kids and our children and our people.
I'd be very interested to see these species.
I will absolutely show you around. And Perlock takes a step forward, and then she leads you along. And you go through a few more funky little corridors. Lights everywhere! And you come outside to this beautiful looking, like, this hard grass on the ground, like full on like brittle style grass. And you see these
Gotta make them cool space cows, Lloyd.
space cows! You see some space... So, you see some space cows. They're like elephant-sized. Giant, full-on space cows. Horns, tight leather skin, patches of white here and there placed about, mooing everywhere they go. But of course the space moo, so it's like space moo, or whatever you want to do. They're feeding along and going for it, and she explained, she goes, our people use these as everything. They were our weapons of war back when we had war. They were our conflict solver. They are the thing you give for a diary for when you wish to get married. All our life surrounds ourselves on the Bono bovines. Please remember this and treat them with as much care as they would treat us. And when the cows moves.
You know, it is interesting that the least common attribute of bovine species is the moo.
I see. Gianna knows a lot. She knows a lot about engineering and technology, and she's listening to you talk about cows going, And in her mind, she's like, it's just a big cow.
It's a big cow.
She grew up on Earth. She saw cows.
It's a big cow.
Would you like to check out the cow?
I want to get my tricorder out.
Yeah! Let's do it! Scan the cow! Roll the dice!
I'm sorry. I rolled a space cowboy.
Roll the dice!
I like Steve's suggestion that
It's just a normal cow with a wing?
Like, and they've painted it a bit.
It's the camera perspective is what makes it bigger. It's like the camera's being put on there.
You don't realise they're actually on a ledge that's lower down.
Just on stilts. What's the difficulty?
Difficulty is 3.
Difficulty to scan this cow is 3.
That's because of special reasons.
They're special cows.
The special cows.
I bet it's all about the cows.
It's going to be all about
It's all about the cows.
have you got any
any
values that apply to cows?
We must cultivate the science of xeno relationships.
There you go.
I would like that to apply.
I think that's fair. When you apply a value, it means that you access the use of your determination.
Yeah. So I'm gonna. Oh man. So various iterations of 2d20.
In this one,
you add a die. You add a die.
Yeah.
Right. I add a die that's already rolled a 1.
Sorry guys, we work on like 5 different versions.
Yeah, trust me, on Conan I was using Star Trek rules. I was like,
Star Trek's just my default. Cool, and I'll roll these. So this is, I guess, science and reason?
I'll give you reason.
Alright, cool. 14. And xenobiology is my focus.
Oh!
So, 4's are crits. That is 1 more success. So 3 in total. So
Alright.
I'm glad I used my xeno relationship. I pat the cow. I pat the space cow because we need to work on our relationships.
Alright, so while you're checking out the cow, what would you like to be doing? Paula says they'll show you a whole bunch of stuff, the world they have, how they weave the clothes that they wear, all of the things that they have to them.
Oh, she'd be very interested in the weaving of the clothes a little bit because one of my focuses is knitting. She really tries, but she gets distracted by the balls of wool.
Oh, if you wish to see how we make our clothes, it is an incredibly beautiful act. Would you like to come see?
Perhaps later, but there are other pressing questions that I'm interested in.
Oh.
You seem to have an unusual amount of lights, at least for my culture that I'm from. Everything appears to be so wonderfully lit, but we saw from approaching to the planet that you are tidally-locked facing the sun. It must be incredible power generation technology for you to keep so many lights running all of the time. I'd be interested in hearing more about that.
It's because the darkness is wrong.
The darkness is wrong.
Darkness is always wrong. How can you not know that?
Cut to commercial break. That's in the show when they're like, there's like a smash close up of you.
The first one, what?
Yeah.
She continues to walk while talking with you. We have the camera break and it comes back to walk. So the scene changes to keep walking. No, you're good. I'll come back to you in a minute.
Associate director inspection.
When you say the darkness is wrong, as in you prefer not to be in the dark?
No, the darkness is always wrong. One must never be in the dark. Only light is where we find ourselves.
Forgive me, this is not something for our culture. What happens if you go into the darkness?
It's wrong. Do not test the will of the gods if you do not wish to know what it is that they can do to you. Why would you go into the dark? Within the dark there is nothing. There is emptiness. There is no Bodo.
Is this why nobody inhabits the other side of your planets, where there are dark clouds we saw in our scans?
You see her shift in her stance, but she stays quiet. This is clearly someone not wishing to continue the conversation. It's up to you to decide how you wish to approach this with the way it says.
Jana will leave it for now, because she looks... This person looks uncomfortable. So, do you have perhaps a place... Back on our planet, we would call them a library, but somewhere where perhaps you have a computer system that has information and records that I could look at?
Absolutely. Come with us to our weaving palace.
Yes, please, because I have computer expertise.
Yeah.
Which is great, because now we'll cut down to
I want to use...
Okay, alright.
Yeah.
Okay. Cows.
Cow's bad.
Cows, cool. Cool cows. The cow seems to be basically built in all intents and purposes to function by photosynthesis. its body's able to take in the light that comes from around it, and it changes it down into food and energy and everything else it needs from just the grass and everything that goes through. From the way its bodily structure runs and everything else that works with it, there seems to be some kind of like system within its body to create more of what basically the planet needs. So it's a full-on animal. Its feces help cultivate the earth to create those grasses and plants that it can go for. Its milk would be succulent and juicy. You might even think about taking a little bit of it because it looks like it's one of those refilling, refreshing drinks that you could have. It will make a killer milkshake if you get it back to earth.
Thick, yeah.
Thick. When it feeds and it feeds off the earth, the enzymes leave certain things within it that helps cultivate it to keep it going. From what you can tell and the way you look at this, it looks like the cows are what basically run this planet. Without them, this would be a barren wasteland.
They're our bees.
Yeah, there are bees.
So they kind of, they're key to the whole ecology of things. Cool.
But,
Right.
did you get exactly the number you needed?
Yeah.
Excellent. There's more. Their biology doesn't seem to just stop with just making this. There seems to be a whole range of interesting, intricate, amazing stuff that their body can do. And you're like, you've barely touched the surface. You would need an extended task to find out more.
All right. Are we standing on a space cow? We're standing on a space cow. This is going to be like...
I could climb the space cow. If you want me to. I'm pretty good at climbing.
All right.
You're currently going off to the Weaving Palace, remember that?
Oh, wait, she's splitting
Can we
up. so
join
she's-
up?
Oh, do you want to join up?
Yeah, we probably do this together.
Okay, that's fair. She'll take you to the Weaving Palace afterwards.
Do you want me
You
to
would
climb
need
the
an
space cow?
you would need an extended task, more equipment, and everything else you need. Basically, you need to set up a lab right here and start it off. Unless I know you take a baby cow back to space with you.
Can we do something weird and TOS style, right? Where you've got a tricorder, and I've got a tricorder.
Mm-hmm.
You're down bottom. I can climb onto the space cow. We can do some weird triangulation stuff. Because that sounds like the kind of...
That sounds great. Are you going to ask Pollock if you can climb onto the space cow that is
Yes.
possibly given right to him?
Yes.
Her answer is no. No, you cannot climb onto our space cow. Our bovine.
You said that they were your weapons of war. I imagine that you...
Yes, but that was before we made a treaty with our people to no longer treat them as animals of war and conquest. They are what gives us life. They are blessed with us from the gods themselves to be here and create a beautiful, wonderful world that we live in.
And we would love to understand them further so that we might be able to tell our own people about these incredible creatures. Unfortunately, the technology that we have here available to us wouldn't allow us to study these unless we can triangulate our scanners on our tricorders. We would hate to have to even think of asking of removing such a precious creature to analyze on our own ship within a lab.
She looks forward and she looks down. No, I cannot allow such a thing to happen. I will not allow it, not without the consent of our leader, nor would I do it for people who have come from the sky. These cows are our life. First you ask of the darkness, then you ask for this. Why should I even take your word for it? Is this why you are no longer allowed in the meetings?
We're no longer allowed in the meetings because there was a misunderstanding over the technology. Please understand, many of the things that you have here are things that we are greatly familiar with within our own civilizations and the others that our Federation is joined with. It's incredibly rare to see technological advancement that happens side by side without having some cross-pollination between civilizations. If what you say is what you say, and this all developed organically yourselves, your planet is a rarity.
She's not looking at you. She's talking to you both, and you look at her, but her eyes are like drawn to the distance. And you keep talking, and her eyes are getting wider as she does so.
I'll turn around.
As you turn around, as you're still halfway through this conversation trying to get to her, her mouth gapes so wide. You cut up and you can see the beautiful land stretching as far as you can, and everything within it is, of course, looking over you. But you notice something rising over the horizon, slowly starting to approach.
Is it a space cow?
It's not a space cow.
Oh.
Coming closer and closer every passing minute is the strange iron cloud, the one that wrapped around the other half of the planet. And as it comes further and further, it starts to stretch and cross over. The shadow it creates is literally burning a path through the lands. The already fairly barren lands with a few plantations. As it goes over it, the plants seem to wither and shake and twist and do something bad. And it starts to draw closer. And she opens her mouth and she looks absolutely shocked. She goes, "Excuse me," and then she rushes over to a corner. She goes, "Get away from the cloud, stay nowhere near it." And she seems to be heading towards one of these weird towers that are near them.
I am going to flip out my communicator, go to the captain,
Mm-hmm.
be like, "Captain, we have a situation.
Talk to me.
The ionized gases are heading our way.
What's so wrong about that?"
We could be caught in some kind of interference, and the natives of the planet seem to have some kind of aversion to them. I believe we might be in danger."
Excellent. Wonderful. He takes a moment to pause for a second and think about his way and goes, "Get back to the ship and then get back to the shuttle and ensure you're not anywhere near danger. Do not interrupt these people what they're doing. But keep an eye on to see what it is that they actually do towards this. I want to know what's happening."
Understood, Captain.
Anything else you need to know me?
No.
Excellent. Click.
Commander, we should go.
Let's get some readings first before that gets too close. We might have better luck now that we're planet side than we were from above.
We could get some readings from the shuttle, even if it was grounded.
Sure, let's go.
Alright.
As we're going, I'd like to call Attica.
Hi, how can I help you?
Have you got anything yet back on the energy spike?
Not yet, but I'm looking up on this, and it looks like something tried to communicate with us, but it didn't get through our scanners. Someone tried to hail us.
I see. Right now, we're the strange ionic storms that we were seeing on the planet. There is one approaching our location. Could you try to scan and see what you can see about its movements, how fast it's traveling?
Do you want me to stop what I'm doing now to do that?
For now, yes.
All right, I'll see what I can do. Click.
And she'll flip it back down and go.
All right. You need to get to the shuttle. You need to get there in time before other things happen to interrupt you scanning it from here. How are you going to do that in the speed and time that you have?
Are other people running? Do we
Yes,
see
people are
in the street?
panicking. People are in your way. They're screaming. Someone's like, "My baby!" There's always someone. Who's someone taking the children?
I think that we just run, I would imagine.
Yeah, cheese it to the
Jesus.
Always do what the locals do, right?
Yeah, cheese
Yeah,
it.
cheese it. Sounds pretty good to me. All right.
Yeah.
To get to the shuttle in time to hopefully scan something to get some kind of readings from it and not have to rely on Attica to give the best you can up in space, make me a roll. Difficulty is 2.
2. Okay. I guess this would be like...
Actually, no. Difficulty is 1. Difficulty is 2.
Right,
Let's
that's
be
your
fair.
2 thread.
I give myself some thought.
have another point of threat, Lloyd.
Hey.
It's be like fitness security, right?
Yeah. I don't think it should be that difficult to get back to the ship on time, but at the same time, like, I'll make it difficulty 2.
I want the momentum though.
This is getting back into the ship.
Yeah, you can make a group.
Did you want me to do, like, you're leading the group, but I'm
Yeah.
assisting because I'm part of it. Oh, so this is what, fitness and security?
I'll give fitness and security.
That's 11 for me.
12.
Just roll well, guys.
Oh, you've done alright. No.
3 successes.
But
No complications.
Aw.
And I don't have any focuses that would apply here.
that sounds pretty awesome. You rush down and you get to the shuttle. Your equipment is in there. It's enough for you to grab something to scan. You've got what you need. What readings would you like to get from the iron cloud?
So Attica can already probably tell us how fast it's moving and in what direction from the ship.
Yes. And she tells you exactly where you need to go, what you need to do. Plus, you've got momentum, so if you need something extra, you can spend it to
Oh,
get
we
that.
did get momentum, didn't we?
We're going to need to see its, like, patterns.
I want to
it's,
see what energy
like-
stuff we pick up from down here, because we
Yeah.
had trouble if everything was scrambled above,
Yeah.
but we might get clearer energy readings now we're under that. Has this like reached us?
No, it hasn't reached you. It's getting closer and closer to where you are.
Okay.
It's like
I'm going to raise the shields.
Yes.
Because...
Can we scan the shields, right?
Yeah.
Okay. Okay, yeah. Jana wants to see what energy stuff she's picking up.
Mm-hmm.
And is there anything you want to scan for? Because she can try and just copy the.
Yeah. Basically,
the system.
I kind of want like a basic information thing first. Before I think then we can ask questions and figure stuff out.
Basic information you will get. Basically, you will get all the data first, but then they'll be analyzing the data later. That will give you what you need. Yeah. So I want to know if there's anything specific as well while you're here.
Like, it's been a bit of a joke, but like how are the cows reacting? Because they're part of this whole ecosystem.
Now that's spend a momentum and I'll tell you.
Sure.
You notice that the cloud comes towards them, but as it gets towards the cow, it shifts away.
So there's no shadows on the cows?
There's no shadows on the cows. Oof. So it doesn't like melt like the ground is melting around the cows. It completely avoids them.
You scanned the cows, right?
Yep. I've got data.
You've got data, but you need more information from them, but that's for later.
Yeah.
Is it worth looking and seeing if they're giving off any kind of signature of something?
We might be able to detect that from the shuttle.
Because I could have a look and see if I can detect what energy signature is coming from the clouds, and then you can see if the cows are putting something out, and if it's known stuff that bounces off of each other.
You scan the clouds, I'll scan the cows.
Deal. Excellent. You scan the clouds the best as you can. You scan the cows the best as you can. As you get the data pulling into your tricorders or whatever it is that you're looking to races, there is this hum, this Puron hum, and you can see the weird Vulcan Klingon mix of these like light bulbs that are around just turn toward the cloud, and this beam of like concentrated light just slams into it. And as it slams into it, it like starts to like twist and turn and cumulate, but then it shrinks little by little before the cloud completely disappears. You hear cheering happening from inside as they cheer on and are excited for the fact that they've managed to destroy the cloud as it gets closer. The cows move dramatically.
Lloyd, can I pay you a point of threat to ask, when Gianna was scanning stuff as we were first going through, was there anything unusual about the light these light bulbs were giving off, or were they just bog standard light bulbs from God knows where?
The lights that we're giving off are sun replicators. The lights, like you know how we have like UV light,
like grow lights,
like grow lights, like grow lights. There are a lot of them are like that.
Interesting. Well, it appears that the lights replicate sunlight. Specifically, I imagine we'd have information on the sun.
Yeah, specifically the sun itself. That's what good. Is this TOS enough for everyone? I hope so.
Oh my god, yeah. All
right, cool. Wait, we've got 3 more episodes of this to go. Can't wait to see the plot lines.
If the darkness moved, essentially, you would have to come to the conclusion that the planet itself had rotated somewhat, and we detected a planet that was tidal locked. Unless the ionization is its own force, for want of a better phrase.
She mentioned that the darkness was wrong, and that when the darkness comes, you shouldn't test it. I wonder if perhaps there is something more than just a storm that has lots of heavy elements in it. Whether or not dissipated by sunlight would explain why we don't see it on this face, why we did on the other. They don't seem to bother the cows, however.
That is the most interesting thing. From your scan, once again, I'll give you this for free. When the cloud got closer to the cow isn't giving off any kind of like reading. It's the cloud that seemed to move towards the cow and moved itself away. It wasn't the cow that pushed it. It was the cloud that would not go near it. The cloud recognized the cow and moved around it. The space cow. Yeah. The Benno bovine.
But so that is the conclusion. It's that like you said specifically, it recognized the cow and moved because of that. It wasn't some natural phenomenon, like like static can like hold a bit of paper up on it or
Charge.
something. Like it's nothing like that. It's literally.
It literally was like,
It went,
no, not that one. And move away.
Wow.
Something weird is going on this planet.
I mean, yeah.
Perhaps there is sentience to it. We have records of other creatures that have taken gaseous form. I would be interested in seeing their central library and seeing what we can download onto our tricorders from their systems. There might be more scientific records there that aren't clouded by the same fear and judgment of this thing as humans are so...
The centuries of observations of the native civilization is going to be a lot more use to begin with than our momentary observations.
As you continue your conversation on that, your tricorder beeps. That's the communicator beeps. Bloop.
Sorrel here.
How are you doing? Is everything alright? It's Tyrrell.
Yes, Captain. We're fine. Did you observe the tower, one of the light-emitting towers, essentially defend itself from the storm?
They specifically called it a lance.
Lance. Interesting. Fascinating.
Apparently they use it for certain attacks that come from the darkness on the other side, according to what Hellas is telling me.
We are very interested that they call these things attacks and that the darkness is wrong. There seems to be some moral conclusion to this phenomenon. I'm
trying to get as much information as I can from him, but he seems to be more interested in trade and sharing the wonders of their land, including their milk for some reason. It tastes great. With us, more than anything else. See what you can find out from the people below.
We are, Commander Jana is suggesting that we go to their central library, essentially, to analyze any records that they have of this phenomenon.
Understood. Keep me posted.
Will do, Captain.
Tyrrell out. Click.
Has the storm is now passed?
Yes, and Pollock comes up to join you, but she does not get in your ship because your ship isn't lit enough. And she steps outside and she waits for you to come out.
I believe this might be a cultural thing.
I believe so too. If the darkness is as dangerous as we perhaps witnessed there with what it can do to the ground, it explains why they wouldn't like a single dark corner.
Storms on Earth, ancient Earth, from what I understand from some of my Starfleet history, was foreboding, and there were many gods, deities that were attributed to its destruction, its danger.
Well, darkness anyway, and basic instinct in any species. The darkness is where things hunt. And
if your storms are this destructive, it's only logical that this kind of culture would grow.
Well, I'd be interested in seeing their library and seeing what we can get from there. I think asking them too many questions is going to be tainted by whatever beliefs they have coupled with whatever the effect the darkness has.
Agreed, Commander.
I guess we exit the ship.
All right. And Pollock is standing there waiting for you and goes, I apologize. This doesn't happen very often, but when it does, it instantly requires us to work. I hope you don't believe us in our acts and my fleeing of the scene to instantly stop it to be that of cowardice. It was that of duty and honor.
Of course not.
We saw the destruction with our own eyes, Pollock. It was necessary.
Understandable. If you feel you must return to your captain and your ship, you're more than welcome to, but the tour is still on. I have many sights to show you.
We'd be very much interested in seeing the library, like database building that we spoke of.
Absolutely. Please come with me. And then she takes you through the area. You come up. So, because the budget was saved for this particular part of the episode.
We've reached that bit in the episode. You get the one good effect.
Yeah, one good effect.
You get the one shot.
You come into this large, sprawling room with lights everywhere and like windows open so air is coming through. And you can see people are like lined up left and right all the way up, but working its way down in this intricate looking pattern all the way through, along with the nice bit on the side, is basically this weaving machine. It's an actual full-on straight up weaving machine that runs down. It's massive. Like, you're thinking like 5 stories tall weaving machine. And as you're looking at it, with every passing second, there's like one tiny little bit, then one tiny little bit, then one tiny little bit, then one tiny little bit. And it's like almost like every second is building up, and it's huge and it stretches. And she goes for it, she goes, here is the tapestry of our lives. We have had it for as long as our people remember. It is one of the very few relics that has survived our world throughout all forms of war that we have gone through. We keep an accurate and perfect record of everything that's happened, the people that we've seen. And we translate it from this weaving part to the technologies that were brought to us and given to us by our people throughout the ages. And then they point out to like the computers and like more like that slightly more easy for you to read stuff on the side.
There's a PC just
The PC just sat there. Windows boots up.
Windows 95.
Really got to upgrade to XP. So it's like an actual an actual woven tapestry that's being translated into
computer stuff.
Interesting.
All right.
Well,
I see you are shocked and awe and silent. I am impressed. It's about time
my eyebrow goes up like an inch. That's how impressed I am.
there's a small bit of Jana that's slightly excited by all of the weaving as she watches it going back and forth and then has to kind of settle herself. Well, I believe if you don't mind us taking a look at the computer records, I imagine that whatever's being woven onto there is being transferred into your databanks here.
Well, yes, we do it personally. We personally translate whatever's written on there to our databanks.
And the tapestry itself, is this your civilization, your culture overall, or is this
our
detailing
culture,
everything?
our history, our people, those who have come before us, those hopefully who will be able to see it, to learn from our mistakes of allowing the darkness in.
Does this have a record of every event, every individual?
Yes. Every single thing that could possibly be is weaving there. In fact, our clothes, our woven clothes, tell the story of our lives. Here's one of my boyfriend. His name is John. He's amazing. Our woven clothes.
I was literally about to ask her what it meant. I got this tattoo because it means this. Like, right?
Yeah, pretty much. Yeah. She actually goes. She actually like explains like the left part of her breast is when she joined the guard and when she was given the title of head guard for Thalius and all of that.
I guess we move over to the computers and I turn to say, Commander, if her depiction of this is accurate, that tapestry is the equivalent of a databank bigger than even our ship.
Megabytes of information. It's the 60s. Come on.
Yeah. I feel like Sam should get a point of
They're
determination.
all real
for
to
that.
real.
Go.
Give me a momentum.
Fine.
Coward.
Have a momentum. Here you go.
Coward. Yes. All right.
What we may be able to do, however, since if it is woven in tapestry, then they do it themselves. It could still be clouded by some of their moral judgments. What we could do is have a look and see at events that we know have happened, like the darkness that would have been recorded just now. Our arrival, and seeing if we can correlate those with other sections of the tapestry. And perhaps I can use the, she kind of just taps the other tricorder and see if I can replicate how their system weaves this tapestry and translates it over. We might be able to replicate then sections to check within our own laboratories.
Alas, Commander, I haven't weaved since I was a child, so I'm afraid I just would not know where to start with decrypting this information.
Well, start by seeing what we can find and seeing if I can copy that system's algorithm.
All right. How are you going to do this?
Gotta figure that out.
Figure it out.
Yeah, like, so what, I'm trying to figure out what relationship the tapestry has to how they're inputting the data. Is it like someone's getting this tapestry next to them and they're having to type
data entry?
Is it like data entry?
It's pretty much that. Everyone is sat, like people are sat directly facing the tapestry. And they're like, they've got like funky looking screen. Because it's the budget part, the trees are like floating.
Yeah.
And it's like the LCAR's look, and no, it's not the LCAR's look, it's just like funky little screen. And they're like
Well,
doing
sweet
that.
buttons.
Yeah.
The gummy bears on the...
And also they've got like actual levers they pull as well because
big red.
Big red too. And then, so like first up you have to understand what it is that they're typing in and then translate it off into something that you can understand yourself.
I want to do that, Lloyd.
Yeah! Are you good at that?
Well,
Is this computer expertise?
Yes, and linguistics.
Involves the programming or study of a computer system.
Ooh.
I can assist. I have
I
linguistics.
can add a bonus d20.
Yeah! Okay.
And then
so
I'm going to give you another 5 threat.
I can assist with my linguistics focus.
well, I'm going to say, let's make it an extended task.
Alright.
Make your life easier because that's then you don't have to like blow all your threat in one thing. Plus, it spends time, which will come into function later because you got things you're gonna
In
find
which case, is it worth me plugging in my little device while we're figuring this out as it downloads? Because presumably there's a translation computer.
Like we're prepping for a task. There'll be other tasks, so you'll get to use.
No, just a heads
if I
up.
can roll
Just a heads
first.
up. Before you decide to plug that in, how stealthy are you going to be with it? You are already on Pollux's bad part.
We did tell her that we wanted to download some information into our tricorders, which she okayed. We said we wanted to access some of their records.
She said okay to
Oh,
download
that's a
it.
blag.
That's a blag. That's a blag. That is a blag. She never said anything about plugging things. You were just looking at it.
She never said we couldn't when I mentioned downloading some stuff to our tricorders.
I think you can recognize that she probably may have an issue if you plug things in. I think I'll give you that for free.
Yeah, it says no touchy.
Do not touch the weave. Oh my god. Hold my weave.
Honey, don't touch the
In which case then, at some point during this, she will set her catnip device down. And it's got wires and cables. It's a little bit...
Do you want to explain for folks I have more catnip in?
Okay,
Yeah, go for it,
I have
please.
the talent experimental device, which means that I have a device that's come from a piece of existing technology that now it barely resembles. So I have a crystal-assisted tri-manifold net mask imitation processor. And it is here's some technobabble for you. It's a tricorder with the sensor system upgraded with a tri-manifold dilithium crystal residue matrix and a data bank upgraded to a sub-quantum RTV delivery system. So you can...
The RT delivery system.
Oh, not the XT? Wow.
No, the RTV.
No.
She can plug it into a system and attempt to try and copy its algorithms or its system processes to try and imitate it to understand it or run simulations with it. Sometimes
You've got a box
maybe.
of malware.
Hi, this is TOS, where anything is possible.
Oh my god.
But yeah, it's a tricorder that's had bits taken off, and there's cables and wires and lights.
Nice.
So it looks a bit haywire anyway. So she's just going to try and set it down and basically shove one of the wires into one of the ports.
Whoops.
But
Whoops!
but because it's kind of covered in cables, she's just trying to make it look like she's just set it down. It's just cables. It's not a purposeful thing.
Okay. Make me.
She'll stand with her
you
tail
rolling
covering
first?
it.
Yeah, they're only
She
first.
stands with her tail
Make
covering it.
me a stealth roll of some kind for you doing this, and I'll make it opposed, and I won't even add any threat because I love you so much.
Can I blag that this is going to be like presence and engineering? Because she's trying to make it look like there's nothing wrong. She's trying to give off that everything's fine.
If you don't use your knitting focus, I am gonna leave.
Yeah, she's trying to mix it in with the other cables here, and also like the engineering thing of like making it look like it's not plugged in is a skill, because anyone can make something look like it's plugged in.
I will not give you engineering. I will give you
Science.
I will give you security.
Yeah.
Okay, so that is 10. Can I use my knitting focus?
Yes, you can use your knitting focus.
Security. 2.
2.
At least you've actually increased the crit range.
So that's 10. Lloyd, can I just give Lloyd a bunch of threats?
I was about to give
Lloyd
him
have all of the threats.
Okay, so what? That's like 5 threat for 3 dice.
6 threat.
6 threat for 3 dice. Okay.
I once had players at like 40 threats, so I'm prepared.
Don't worry. I am a well-rested hand at
That last
this.
episode of Actum Cthulhu.
Living above 30
All
threat.
All threat.
But just take that. Just like,
What's the difficulty?
difficulty is at a pulse roll, so you don't know.
Oh well, good on you. Well done. This is good.
Okay.
I have not spent any threat, just so you know. Just because.
So you're rolling 2 dice.
How are there
What are the 2 20s doing then?
Oh, Sam.
I'm out.
Determination information. Help me out here.
I'm not with her.
Oh, wow. Wow. I didn't have to do anything with this one. I didn't have to do anything with this one.
I'm trying to see if any of my values would work here.
How can I bull my way out of this?
Yeah.
Oh, make it good. Make it good. Make it good.
Way down deep, we're all motivated by the same urges.
No!
If she catches her
Come on
and
now.
says,
What?
if she says anything, it's like, no, I'm not doing anything. All I want to do is just look. I'm just looking. I'm just having a play around. Come on, it's natural. Curiosity is
Take
natural.
the best that exists and make it better.
Oh, when it does not exist,
When it does not exist, design it. Come on.
Okay, I'll do.
Okay, fine. How does that work?
Spend to reroll.
Yeah.
Okay, so you get one reroll, right?
No, you can reroll all of your
Oh, okay,
dice.
fine. You win
By
this round.
complication.
What? You can reroll all of them. You had a couple of successes in there, right?
No.
Oh.
I couldn't use engineering.
All right. This is how this goes.
That's better. That's 2 successes, 3, 4, 5.
Excellent.
5.
She only rolled 1.
She rolled 1 and I couldn't even roll 1 success.
Oh my god.
Welcome to 2D20, everybody. Okay. So, you barely, the sweating, just managed to plug that in.
There's lots of putting her tail
I think
in
there was
the right
literally
place
a
to block
whoops
lines.
moment.
She pretends it's a tail, so whoops, oh, this thing always getting in the way. Like brushes it behind
You are
her.
plugged in, and now you have the idea of the design matrix that this works on. I will use this to drop the magnitude of what I need to roll from 2 to 1. And I will say that it counts as 1 breakthrough. Is that fair?
I mean, that's kind of the same thing, so sure.
In the thing of fairness, using this does, like tests to use this, have their complication range increased by 2.
I know.
it's
So I'm just making a complication between for the rest of your rolls.
cool.
Cool.
Cool. All right. Okay. Let's see what you got as you begin to try and figure out and work out this. What is the end goal of this extended task?
I don't know. What you set the extended task?
I know. Well, I mean, like, tell me what you're going to do.
Well, we want to find out how it works, right?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, we want to find out how it translates stuff over.
So that we can use it to...
Yeah, we can do stuff from this
to figure out their
to figure it
past.
out.
Nice. All right. So there we go. This will give you all the data you need, and you can start breaking it down afterwards to get it in. So, first roll. This is not a time challenge. Are you going all in on the first roll?
I'm all in, Lloyd.
Okay. How much credit is that?
Lloyd, we're both Star Trek GMs.
Okay.
We're not afraid of the threat.
Okay. I guess that's like what? That's
I'm
6
I'm not
threat.
afraid. It's not, because I got a bonus d20 anyway, which is
Okay,
1,
fine.
so I'll... it's...
Fourth
brain today.
4 threat.
4 threat, thank you.
Oh my god, look at this thread. I should have spent. Don't worry. I will spend.
That's an average pile of threat. Look at that.
Lloyd, I once
2,
had to
4, 6,
borrow a
8,
whole
10,
new set of
12,
tokens from
16,
Sam for my Trek players.
Yeah, you'd be fine.
17's
Right.
fine.
Let's see what you got.
Threat's fun, kids.
See what you got.
Makes things
Are you not?
interesting.
Are you not assisting?
I can
Or
assist with
can
linguistics,
we-
right?
Go for it. Yeah.
Yeah. Okay.
Can I go for then reason and science?
I think that's fair.
13, I'm looking.
I want to challenge one of my values to get my
Ooh.
determination back, and it means that. Oh, hang on. Can I do this?
Do you want to
Probably.
challenge a
I
value
don't
for
remember-
this?
I don't remember this.
So
I
when you
just want to get
challenge,
my determination back.
so when you
basically.
challenge a value, you have to say that in this scene, this value is being challenged. Something I believe in
Yeah.
is no longer working. Would you say that's true for when you're looking up some weaving?
I mean, I was going to change. One should never take unfair advantage, and we kind of have with your thing.
That is true. Do you want to? Feel free. I think I'm happy to do
I
that.
guess it would give you a complication, or it would make me have to do something. If you're alright with it.
Yeah, I'm okay with it.
Alright, I'm going to cross it out.
Could have it increase the complication range further as your
I'll do that. So now completion
Vulcan
rate
awkwardness.
is now what, 17? 17 to 20? Not 18 to 20?
Y2 would be 18, 19, 20.
yes, 17.
Yeah, 17. 17, 20. Yeah, sounds
Vulcan
good to me.
awkwardness for the win.
I believe in you.
It's like
What's
college all over
the
again.
what's the thing? What's the stats?
Uh,
Looking at reason and science.
I'll give you reason. I'll give you reason and science for trying to figure it out. I think that's fair.
Cool.
Actually, no. I'll give you insight and science.
Ugh, that's 12.
I believe in you. Make it work.
Focus jury rigging.
No.
I'm making this up as I go
No.
along.
You've got like
No,
computer
you're-
expertise, haven't you?
No, but that's the talent. I'm
Yeah.
not the focus.
I'm sorry. I can't give you jury rigging for you trying to work out information.
I don't have focusing. So crits of one.
That's fine. I've got linguistics.
How many are we looking for?
Well, you're looking. Well, Magnus is
difficulty.
1, and just need to beat. And you got 1 break already. You just need 2 more, and you're done.
So what's the difficulty?
Difficulty is 1.
Oh.
That's the magnitude.
At least one there, so.
I got 1 success. How about you?
Hey, nice.
Oh! 3 successes. 2
Oh.
momentum. Now we roll some D6.
Wait, did
Oh,
I get
right.
any momentum from that opposed test earlier? I always forget about
Oh, like
momentum on
all.
opposed
Like you
test.
rolled 1, you rolled 4.
5.
5. Yeah.
I think we've maxed out our momentum.
I think you maximum momentum. So how much are you gonna spend on that?
Right, so
It's 2.
the extended task D6 roll is
2.
Two.
what, 2
2
plus
plus momentum.
plus my
yours.
science, which is 4, plus 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 D6.
Oh my god, here you go.
Thanks.
Yes!
5 there.
This
Just
is-
throw
is
dice
how
at
you-
it.
This is how you beat an extended task.
You throw it
Spend
on
all
it?
of the momentum. Do good, Sam. Do good.
That was pretty good.
Yeah.
Any effects? Just
Uh,
ones.
Just 1 for now.
2.
Actually, no. Effects will mean that you understand the weaving tapestry a little bit more than usual. They will count as 2s.
Whoa! All right.
2, 4, 6, 8, 10, 12, 14, 16, 18, 19.
19 is more than enough to do 2 breakthroughs.
Yes.
There we go.
Which is very
Right.
here's the interesting about it, right? High five.
Don't leave me hanging.
Here's the interesting about it, because the way the way damage works in 2d20 is that it doesn't matter if you're 19 or 24. If you've already beaten the stress track, it's still
You
just
got
2.
the...
Yeah.
So I'm like, yeah, knock yourself out, go wild. So yeah, that's just enough to get through.
Yeah,
So-
I mean, we are gaming the system, sure.
We can't help it. We run this.
Grok this, kids.
This is masterclass
That's
in
how it works.
Star Trek.
Masterclass on how to game the 2D20 system.
All the threat, all the dice.
Buy our game today. So with what you have, with catnip poked in, with you copying things, and you just going, it works. You've got it. You've got the baseline of the weave. Now you just need to find time to analyze.
So
And-
she has the algorithm all on catnip.
And
Of course.
And I've somehow knitted a scarf.
Of course, having this information and putting it all together and figuring out what part of the information is very
Is that a whole
important.
new
Because
extended task, Lloyd?
no,
Okay.
no, I mean you have. So basically, what you have, right, is, let's say, for example, you have the whole of human history, and you're like, where do I start looking?
There's no Google.
There's no Google.
We are Google.
We could go back to the shuttle, because that'll have a bigger computer system than catnip does.
We can make that Google.
Well, yeah, but we can have a look at the tapestry.
Yeah.
Have a look at the events that have just happened, because they're going to be the easiest to find, and then have the
Cross-reference colours, weaves.
colours, weaves,
Threads.
patterns, based on the algorithm that it uses to convert
Yeah.
the information into weave into.
At this point, Tyrell comes to the.
She unplugs.
Tyrell comes up to the. Goes, everyone, how's it doing?
Your planet is certainly
No,
incredible.
Tyrell's the captain.
Oh,
This is their computer system, Captain. It's intriguing, and he points at the giant scarf in the sky.
Great Scott, it's incredible.
Their whole history is recorded on this loom, and then it is inputted manually by people on keyboards.
Thelis walks up behind, goes, yes, and so it has been since the beginning of time that we know. Unfortunately, I have to ask if you would mind taking a moment to return back to your home.
Of course.
We declare that the Iron Cloud coming at the same time as you arriving is enough to make us think that this is an act of sabotage. As such, we would need some time to go over our records and see where it came from and see if there's any retaliation we can do to why it is that the Iron Cloud has come here.
Are you accusing us of sabotage?
Tyrell steps in and goes, no, not us. We're not the ones they're accusing. I'll tell you on the ship.
Very well, Captain.
He nods to both of you, and then Tyrell and Pollock escort you to your shuttle where you board, and he goes, please feel free to come back soon. We will be here, and we will let you know when we are ready to receive you. And you board your ship, and then you head up. And as you start to head up, Tyrell goes, did they speak to you about a war?
I thought they
no longer ward, is what we were
did not go
told.
to war.
Yes, but that's because the people they war with are no longer here.
See.
They speak of a race that also coexists on this planet. One that hides in the shadows. One that sends threats amongst them to do horrible things to their people and ruin their lives. They speak of a horror creature. The Toma.
A singular creature.
A group of people, just like them, who also exist on the other side of this planet underneath the iron clouds.
Let's see.
Has contact been made with that civilization? Do we have any information on?
He's about to say yes when your machine beeps.
Catnip? Or
No,
a communicator?
it's Atia.
Flips up.
I've
Yes.
discovered what it is.
Go ahead.
It's a hail.
The energy spike.
Yes.
The moving clouds.
Yes. Another group of people tried to hail us.
They are trying to communicate with us.
Captain, it appears that this other group, they are the reason for that energy spike. They are trying to contact us.
Captain, I believe I can navigate us through the ion storm onto the other hemisphere of the planet.
Are you sure?
I will try, Captain.
If possible, it may be best to make sure that we are not caught. It appears that the people here noticed our presence very quickly upon entering the system and the planet's outer reaches. We wouldn't like to offend them or make them think that we are working with what presumably is their enemies. If they see us going down to the other side.
Plot us a course.
Hi, Captain.
Make sure it avoids everyone who could possibly be avoided, and take us to where that is.
And
Atia, can you give us a location as to where that hail came from and send a message to say we're going through? That's just like, not a problem. I think I can just about pierce enough to send a message to say we're about to arrive. Good. Tyrell out. And then she like goes close to the thing. I just tear out. Thank you. Appreciate it. Plus, of course,
You
sir.
need me to do the thing? What's the difficulty?
we should perhaps
Difficulty?
return to the ship and then leave from there. They'll notice our course if we don't go back. They may be watching.
There's no time for that. Let's go now. I wish to know what's going on.
Very well, Captain. What's the
Sorry,
difficulty?
I'd spend 2 for that.
That's all right.
Difficulty is 3 to navigate through the iron cloud. Oh, sorry. Did I say 3? I meant 4. Oh, did I say 4? I meant 5. I literally can't go any higher than
Is
that, can I?
that because it's playing with the?
You can.
the
Oh, can I? Oh, in that case, let's go 6.
Is it because it's playing with the engines in that sense, in terms of it's screwing them up, the heavy metals?
Yeah, the stuff within it that's going through. You don't know what kind of effect it will have on yourselves or what it will be. You could have to keep your shields up the whole time. A whole bunch of other things as
Can I
well.
assist the helmsman with control and con, because I have a focus in quantum mechanics, so I understand how this will affect the engines.
That makes sense.
And
Go
I
for
can,
it.
I can
Yeah,
sit in the
sweet.
secondary seat and adjust stuff as you're
Well,
piloting.
I've got a small craft focus and a con of 4, so I'm not doing too bad.
You got this.
Control, so 12. I'm looking at a 16. This
That's
is pretty
pretty
good.
good.
I am going to give you 6 threat back to
Mm.
make the roll. So, because I'm looking at 6, right?
I'll wait for you to roll, and if you don't roll any successes.
I've got my determination back from challenging that value, right?
No, you didn't challenge it.
Yeah, I did. I crossed it
Did you?
out.
Oh, okay, never mind. Yeah, fine. Take it back.
Yeah. It is the crew that dies, not the ship. So we have to look after the crew,
Okay.
not focus on the shuttle.
Sounds good to me.
So it's us working in tandem. That's what's making this going to work.
All right.
So I'm going to... Do I re-roll, or do I get 2 successes straight off the bat? I'm going to spend it either
Re-roll.
way, I think.
I would re-roll.
Re-roll?
Yeah, because then if they're all terrible,
James is going to scream at us in a minute. Always take the guaranteed option. I'm going to wait. No, probably. Yeah, I'll re-roll. Live by the seat of my pants. Whatever. I'm really annoyed because, again, we don't have any momentum. I can't take cautious con.
Oh, I feel so
can't
bad
do
for
cautious
you.
con. Oh.
Didn't make the roll.
Save us like a point of momentum.
actually, if I can do control, I know it's only if I do. It doesn't really matter.
Engineering.
Control engineering, yeah, it's
I'll give it to
literally okay. Cool, even better than con.
You can re-roll.
No, I have to buy stuff with threat. I can't on assist.
Ah.
Just roll the dice, Sam.
All right,
Just
fine.
See what happens.
Sam,
16
just
crits
believe
on
in
4.
yourself.
The worst that happens is
got
we crash
this.
and have to make new
I
characters
told
for
you,
next
James.
week.
I told you, James would shout at us. I can pick what I right. No crits in there. but I've got 1, 2, 3, 4 successes.
You might as well
I need
reroll
2
the 19.
from you.
Wait, let me see what I roll then. That is a success, but it's not a crit. It's 15 that I'm looking for.
Okay.
1, 2, 3.
I'm going to spend that determination to re-roll, and I'm going to chance. Shall I chance the other die?
You might as well, because there's no other way we're going to get 6, right?
Alright, so...
I believe in you.
Let's move these over.
Make it happen.
You can do it, Sam.
Make it happen so I can do it.
16, crits on 4s.
Yes!
Excellent.
3 more. 4, 5, 6, 7.
Alright. You power on through and you begin to make your way over. You are not spotted by anyone. You get through all the way you can. You can also pop. You actually no, you don't pop out. You go straight towards the iron area. You cut through the clouds, and as you hit the clouds, it starts like you see it start to work on, but it's not breaking through your shield. So you're doing pretty good.
Keeping the shields up was a good idea. Come on.
Yes. I don't want to have to do loads of work on this shuttle. We only just repaired the last one.
He's picking up his threat again.
I don't know what I'm talking about. As you continue to make your way through, the shields up, seeming to keep everything bounced back and away. As you enter the clouds itself, the ship starts to get darker, and the shadows start to run along the shuttle.
Presumably, if they are hailing us, we shouldn't be too concerned about this. This could be their equivalent of scanning.
I would not be as presumptive as to fear at the moment, Commander.
The darkness starts to spread even more as the ship starts to move through.
Can I, with my regular tricorder, can I scan this? Is it the same way that we mistook an energy spike for a hail? Is this just some kind of the same way that we would scan from a distance or something incoming into an atmosphere? Is this what this is doing? Is this the kind of energy that it's giving off?
Well, you try to scan it, so you turn on your scanner and try and reach out for it, and you go to scan it, and the light from your scanner stops there. It doesn't penetrate.
Interesting. The light doesn't seem to penetrate it. Apparently only
the science officer that is sitting at the far back of the place, because he exists and he's there.
The people we forgot, right?
The people we forgot.
Yeah.
He not the science the security officer sort of turns towards the racer. He's not quite sure why, so he reaches his hand, and his hand goes into the darkness. As it goes into the darkness, like what the? As says what the darkness envelops him, actually eats his whole body in one fell swoop. You hear nothing from the back of the ship. The darkness starts to creep again, slowly and slowly, closer and closer to the rest of the ship. Now moving towards the light, eating the light as it goes along, step by step by step by step. Yes?
Can I pay you 2 momentum to introduce a truth?
Okay, go
on. Can I introduce that? You have bovine biology stuff, right?
You know, by bovine biology.
So could I introduce the truth that perhaps we used this shuttle last time to go down to look at some space cows? And so there's still a little bit of equipment on board that we never quite got off, and it was stuff for analysing the cows and the plants they were eating. So perhaps we've got some kind of little grow lighty bulbs that we were using to check over stuff.
I'll give it to you.
Cool.
It's interesting, Commander, that photosynthesis is actually the most common attribute that defines bovine.
And
which is why we had the lights.
Human cows cannot do that.
Human cows are the most boring cows in the existence of the galaxy.
I see, Commander. How interesting.
They do nothing.
We'll rummage around then, and I'll hand the Commander one of the little lights and just click it on.
Excellent.
Kind of a light.
Oh yeah, we just get the phasers.
All right.
You could just get the phasers out, right?
Yeah.
It's sunlight though. It's specifically sunlight that they have a problem with.
Is it?
Yeah.
Can't I just adjust the phaser?
Yes, you can. Just adjust the phaser to do sunlight.
Yeah, I should be able to adjust a phaser to do that.
Little...
In which case,
ones, right?
do you want me to roll to introduce that?
Do it.
Then?
Can you get the sunlight in time before the darkness eats you
Control
all?
engineering with a jury rigging focus.
I'll give you jury rigging, I will give you control, and I'll give you engineering.
Cool. What's the difficulty?
Difficulty, you need to do it fast. Difficulty's only 2. Oh, sorry, I meant 3.
3. Sure, I'm going to spend that momentum for an extra dice, and then I'm going to pay you 2 threats.
Excellent.
Because
If
then I
you
get to
want,
reroll.
if you break apart your phases, I will make the difficulty to 2.
Oh man, set it to 20.
Set to 20.
Done.
Can you do it on time? This is the real important part.
Difficulty what, sorry?
Difficulty is 3. Unless you break apart your phases to do it, the difficulty is 2. If you're like, screw it, break on the floor, hit it, slam it.
Sure, I can probably jury rig them back later.
It's fine.
It's fine.
Sure,
Difficulty
yeah,
is 2.
42.
Make the roll.
So that is
Woo!
1, 2, 3, 4. I'm going to re-roll this one because my bold engineering talents. That is 2, 3, 5 successes on a difficulty 2 is 3 momentum. I can do math.
Yeah.
Lloyd's just spent some threat.
Don't worry about it. You slam it, the light flicks off, and you just about save pretty much everyone else there.
Yeah, wide beam.
Wide beam, it pushes off the
The red shirts
darkness.
didn't buy it. What?
Only
Come on.
one did. One bought it!
Okay.
One
He
bought
died.
it.
Science officer.
He died.
He's not a red shirt, is he?
You know the science officers, like, they're one of the most
Yeah,
common
most common.
actual...
Red shirts
Ones
like
to
it
die.
actually the least.
Yeah.
Star Trek facts, everybody.
Hey.
Join us for more.
You slam it, it goes out, and it hits the bottom, and you see the darkness fight with it. And for a second, the darkness is
20.
winning. You see it.
Set to 20.
Set to 20. Just managed to. As you slam it, the matter comes. It explodes in your hand. You don't actually get hurt. It's just whoosh. And the brightness like blinds almost everyone. The darkness recedes back.
Flying blind, like...
Recedes back. As you recede back and the darkness moves away, the ship's controls stop working.
Oh, good. The gummy bears have switched off.
What have you done to my shuttle? What have you done to my shuttle?
Commander, I do not believe it was me.
The ship tilts forward.
Oh, good.
It starts to descend. You see it start to move faster and faster and faster. As it starts to descend, it goes out of the iron cloud and you come into this sort of like, for a second you cut out the iron cloud itself and then you're just below it. And as you're directly below it, you see this translucent world of like floating, like, you know that whole like underwater jellyfish
Under the
thing?
sea.
Yeah.
Oh,
You
we've got
see
jellyfish
that
creatures.
darkness
Better.
floating about. You see these weird translucent things, but that's all of you can see before the shuttle pummels one more
Free
time, free falls, and slams into the ground. And that is where we're ending today's session, everybody. Thank you very much for watching today's first session of Star Trek Adventures, Layers of Fear. We shall be doing the second part.
You should have started with that.
We shall be doing the second part next week. I hope you'll join us. First up, thank you very much for Beacon Sun for this incredible table. Thank you very much for my players. Thank you very much for my streamers. We'll be having some special stream rewards for names and people and momentum spends that you would like whenever you feel like it. I'll work it out tomorrow. Don't worry about it for now. Sorry, Steve. And finally, thank you very much for the Star Trek Adventures Wiki for giving me all the information I needed to build a world possible. Have a great day, and we will see you all next week.
Bye.
Bye.